Hey everyone, Michelle here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my September TBR video. So after 2 months of reading whatever I want, it is back to readathons, and for this month I am doing Becca's Bookopoly, which is quite well known on BookTube, I will say. I will link the announcement video down below in case you want to participate. During September, Becca's Bookopoly is a readathon based off Becca at Becca and the Books' TBR game that she plays called Bookopoly. So she's created us our own little board. We can do however many rules we want to do. There are a couple of rules, however I will link the announcement video down below just so you can go through them and watch the rules if you want to, or if you want to participate. The only rule that affects me is if I get a double, I add another book. Spoiler. So I have pre-filmed all my rules, so I will insert them in here and then talk about the book. First of all, I want to say sorry for the condensation. I have tried to wipe it away many times, however my room is very warm. I'm coming out of the rain. I have dried myself as much as possible, but this still happens, and unfortunately I can't open the window because I think a neighbour is having a party or something. There is a very lot of cars, so it's a lot of noise. If you have watched my TBR video from last year for September, you will know that normally I get my youngest niece to help me pick out some books because it is her birthday month. She's still helping me. There were a few prompts where I could pick number of books to fit the prompt, so I sent her a picture of what I wanted or thought could fit the prompt and said, these are the books. Pick either 1 or 2 in some cases. I do still have my 2 year-long readathons that I'm doing, which is Clear Your Bookshelf or Read Your Bookshelf and Buzzwordathon. So I will go through those books first and then get into the rules. So for Read Your Bookshelf, the prompt for September is to read a translated book. I thought I wouldn't be able to read a book for this prompt because I don't really read a lot of translated books. But in January I pre-ordered a book that came out before September and is translated from Japanese to English, and that book is Bullet Train by Katora Isaka. This was originally released in Japanese and was translated by Sam Melissa. This is actually soon to be a film, I believe, so I will read you the blurb because the blurb is very intriguing. Satoshi looks like an innocent teenage schoolboy, but he is really a viciously cunning psychopath. Kimura's young son is in a coma thanks to Satoshi, and he's tracked him onto the bullet train heading from Tokyo to Morioka to exact his revenge. But Kimura soon discovers that he and Satoshi are not the only dangerous passengers on board. Nanayo, the self-proclaimed unluckiest assassin in the world, and the deadly partnership of Tangerine and Lemon are also travelling to Morioka. A suitcase full of money leaves others to show their hands. Why are they all on the same train, and who will make it to the end of the line? And for Buzzwordathon, the prompt for September is dark, and for that I am reading The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turnton. It's a chonker. I love the design of it though. Here we go. It's 1634 and Samuel Pepys, the world's greatest detective, is being transported from the Dutch East Indies to Amsterdam, where he is facing trial and execution for a crime he may or may not have committed. Travelling with him is his loyal bodyguard, Arent Hayes, who is determined to prove his friend innocent. While also on board are Sarah Wessel, a noblewoman with a secret, and her husband, the Governor-General of Batavia. But no sooner is their ship out to sea when devilry begins to blight the voyage. A strange symbol appears on the sail. A dead leper stalks the decks. Livestock are slaughtered in the night. And then the passengers hear a terrible voice whispering to them in the darkness, promising them 3 unholy miracles. First, an impossible pursuit. Second, an impossible theft. Third, an impossible murder. Could a demon be responsible for their misfortunes? With Pips imprisoned, only Arent and Sarah can solve a mystery that stretches back into their past and now threatens to sink the ship, killing everybody on board. Now, them two readathons are out of the way, onto the rules. So, onto rule number 1 of 7. Let's see how this goes. That is a 7. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is a chance card. There's a book. For rule number 1, I got a chance card. And for chance cards, for Bookopoly, you write on half the books that you really want to read and half books that you don't really want to read. So I put 10 chance cards on the board. So I picked 5 books I don't really want to read and 5 books that I do. And the book that I picked for me was A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. I did have this on my TBR for August, but with it being on my TBR for September, I'm guessing you can guess that I didn't read it. Onto the synopsis. If I keep saying blurb, I'm really sorry. For centuries, the 8 courts of folk have lived among us, concealed by magic and bound by law to do no harm to humans. This arrangement has long kept peace in the courts, until a series of gruesome and ritualistic murders rocks the city of Toronto and threatens to expose fairies to the human world. 4 queer teens who each hold a key piece of the truth behind these murders must form a tenuous alliance in their effort to track down the mysterious killer behind these crimes. If they fail, they risk the destruction of the fairy and human worlds alike. If that's not bad enough, there's a war brewing between the mortal and immortal realms. And one of these teens is destined to tip the scales. The only question is, which way? I've mentioned this in every TBR video I've put this on, and the reason I'm not sure if I will like this book is because it's been compared to The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I did not like that book. I DNF'd it. So I'm not sure if I will like this one too much. On to rule number 2. Another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is Who. As you can see, for rule number 2, I got Who, and Who in the rules is read a book that you have never heard anyone talk about or have heard very few people talking about. So for this one, I have gone for Not My Problem by Kiara Smith. If you have watched my channel for a while, you will know that I did read the Falling in Love montage for March, I believe. Liked some of it, didn't like some of it. So I thought I would give the author another go because I did enjoy some of the writing. Aideen is a rule breaker. Maeve is a super ambitious class swot. When Aideen reluctantly agrees to help Maeve escape her crazy workload, she never expects the solution to mean pushing Maeve down the stairs. Yet Aideen soon realises she has a talent for fixing other students' problems, aided by Cavi, her willing accomplice in crime. Whether it's stealing a confiscated phone or arranging a late night breakout, Aideen will sort it out. But Aideen's own life is a mess. Her mum's drinking again, her best friend is avoiding her, and she's flunking school. As she spends more time with Cavi and the uptight but annoyingly cute Maeve, Aideen starts to wonder, can every problem be solved? Yes, I have moved the board so that you can kind of see all the prompts, and I think this board looks amazing. So on to rule number 3. A double. So we're doing 8 rules. 1, 2, and that is history. So for rule number 3, I got history, and for that one, my niece selected for me Mrs. England by Stacey Halls. She also selected Not My Problem. This book is based in 1904 in West Yorkshire, and so it is definitely historical and is also in the county that I currently live in. When newly graduated nurse Ruby May takes a position looking after the children of Charles and Lillian England, a wealthy couple from a powerful dynasty of mill owners, she hopes it will be this fresh start she needs. But as she adapts to life at the isolated Hardcastle house, it becomes clear there's something not quite right about the beautiful, mysterious Mrs. England. Distant and withdrawn, Lillian shows little interest in her children or charming husband, and is far from the angel of the house Ruby was expecting. As a warm, vivacious Charles welcomes Ruby into the family, a series of strange events forces her to question everything she thought she knew. Ostracised by the servants and feeling increasingly uneasy when her sister stops writing with news from home, Ruby must face her demons in order to prevent history from repeating itself. After all, there's no such thing as a perfect family, and she should know. On to roll number 4 of 8. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is spooky. For roll number 4, I got spooky, and for this one, I selected The Lights of Prague by Nicole Jarvis. Sorry for the cut there, I have to get the rules. So for spooky, I could have selected a book with a non-human paranormal main character, a horror or thriller, a book with a spooky looking cover, or a gothic classic. This is a bit of a spooky cover, and I also believe it has a non-human character in it. In the quiet streets of Prague, all manner of mysterious creatures lurk in the shadows. Unbeknownst to its citizens, their only hope against the tide of predators are the dauntless lamplighters, secret elite monster hunters whose light staves off the darkness each night. Domek Miska leads a life teeming with fraught encounters with the worst kind of evil, Pijavis, bloodthirsty and soulless vampiric creatures. Despite this, Domek finds solace in his moments spent in the company of his friend, the clever and beautiful Lady Aura Fischarova, a widow with secrets of her own. When Domek finds himself stalked by the spirit of the White Lady, a ghost who haunts the baroque halls of Prague Castle, he stumbles across the sentient essence of the Will-o'-the-Wisp captured in a mysterious container. Now, as its bearer, Domek wields its power, but the Wisp, known for leading travellers to their deaths, will not be so easily controlled. After discovering a conspiracy amongst the Pijavis that could see them unleash terror on the daylight world, Domek finds himself in a race against those who aim to twist alchemical science for their own dangerous game. I do apologise for the stumbling there. Roll number 5. That's an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. POC. And for this one, my niece selected This Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron. I really enjoyed Cinderella is Dead, so I'm quite glad I can read this one as well. I just didn't manage to get it on my TBR for July or August, unfortunately. To break an ancient curse, she must let her power bloom. Briseis has a gift. She can grow an apple tree from a seed in a heartbeat, and flowers bloom at her touch. And when she inherits an old house, she suddenly has the privacy to test her powers for the first time. But as Bree starts to magic the house's rambling grounds back to life, she finds she's also inherited generations of secrets. In a hidden garden overgrown with the most deadly poisonous plants on earth, a dark legacy lies awaiting for her. And Bree's long-departed ancestors won't let her rest until she finds it. Roll number 6. 3 and a 4, so that is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Highest rated. And for the next roll, I got highest rated. So I went to Goodreads and I put my to be read shelf into average rating and selected the highest. I think it's reversed, it goes highest to lowest. The first book on there is the second book in a series that I haven't even read the first book for, so I couldn't read that. But the second one was Saga Volume 2 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is a manga comic series about two people on opposite sides of a war who fall in love, have a baby, and both sides start trying to find them. I really enjoyed the first one, and one of my lovely subscribers, Carolina, messaged me saying she had the rest, well, she had books 1 to 6 if I would like them. She didn't really like the comic. I gladly said yes, so thank you again, Carolina, and I now have this in my possession so I can read it for the readathon. It is very small, so I should be able to get through this in less than a day. I love the art style. I can't reach my blurb because there really isn't one, so there's my blurb. Roll number 7, and that is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 monsters. So for the next prompt I got monsters, and for this it's read a book with monsters or monstrous characters. For example, a book with a creature or monster like vampires, werewolves or trolls, etc. A book with a serial killer or monstrous person, or a book with a monstrous villain or evil overlord. So for this one I have picked My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinka Braithwaite. I read Oyinka's, I read their short story in July and I really enjoyed it, and I've had this I got this for my birthday actually, so I'm quite glad that I have an excuse to read it. When Corridor's dinner is interrupted one night by a distress call from her sister Ayula, she knows what's expected of her. Bleach, rubber gloves, nerves of steel and a strong stomach. This will be the third boyfriend Ayula's dispatched in self-defence, and the third mess that her lethal little sibling has left Corridor to clear away. She should probably go to the police for the good of the menfolk of Nigeria, but she loves her sister, and as they say, family always comes first. Until that is, Ayula starts dating the doctor where Corridor works as a nurse. Corridor's long been in love with him and isn't prepared to see him wind up with a knife in his back, but to save one would mean sacrificing the other. And on to what should be our final roll. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. History. Again. For the next rule, I got history. For this one, my niece selected Reputation by Lex Croucher. Regency just got a little more rebellious. Abandoned by her parents in favour of a sea view, middle-class Georgina Ellers has moved to a new town to live with her dreary aunt and uncle. At a particularly dull dinner party, she meets an enigmatic Francis Campbell, a wealthy socialite and an enchanting member of the in-crowd. Through Francis and her friends, Georgina is introduced to a new world of wild parties, drunken debauchery, mysterious young men with strangely alluring hands, and the sparkling upper echelons of Regency society. But high society isn't all it's cracked up to be, and the price of entry might be more than Georgina is willing to pay. Guess who forgot that she technically needs to do 9 rolls this month? So, now on to the actual final roll. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we get Opulent. As you saw for the next roll, I got Opulent, and this is read a book with an opulent vibe. For example, a book with foiling on the cover, a book set in a palace, royal court, or with royalty as main characters, a book with rich main characters, and a book with a beautiful cover. The book I have selected hits all of these, I believe. Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I thought I mispronounced it for some reason. There's following on the cover, and I'll read the blurb and you'll see how it ticks the rest of it. As princesses of Crete and daughters of the fearsome King Minos, Ariadne and her sister Phaedra grow up hearing the terrible bellows of the Minotaur from the labyrinth below the palace. The Minotaur, Minos' greatest shame, and Ariadne's brother, demands blood every year. When Theseus, Prince of Athens, arrives in Crete as a sacrifice to the beast, Ariadne falls in love with him. But helping Theseus defeat the monster means betraying her family, and Ariadne knows that in a world ruled by mercurial gods, drawing their attention can cost you everything. Ariadne has heard too many tales of a woman being punished for the acts of men. She is determined to set her own fate. But will her decision to help Theseus ensure her happy ending, or will she find herself sacrificed for her lover's ambitions? I don't know why I said that was the final roll, because obviously I got the double. So now on to the final roll. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh! POC rep again. And for my final roll, I got POC rep again. So my niece picked for me Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. This book was everywhere I looked last summer and I had it on my TBR. It was in a buy one get one free offer, so I just picked it up. When Amira is apprehended at a supermarket for kidnapping the white child she's actually babysitting, her employer Alex resolves to make things right. So begins a crash course that will upend everything they think they know about themselves, each other, and the messy dynamics of privilege. There are all the books for Bookopoly and for my other 2 readathons. I'm not holding them up because they don't fit in frame. But I have counted the pages and there is 4,568. So if I divide that by the number of days in September, I need to read about 153 pages a day to read them all this month, which that's doable. 153 pages a day is doable. If I put on a reading sprint, I can read about 150 to 200 pages, so it should be doable, she says. I think I need to be strict to myself for this month, just to make sure I read them all, especially for October. I've got no readathons planned for October, but I do need to read 14 books, and yeah. But that is the end of this TBR video. Please let me know if you are participating in any of the readathons, especially Becca's Bookopoly. I love to watch all them videos, especially when it's like vlogs about it. I just love it. If you've read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts. Like I say every month, what you guys tell me means that if it goes higher up my list to read quicker or goes lower. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you are new to my channel, hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Michelle. I'm a chaotic mess, as you can tell. No, I don't review books here. I'm rubbish at it. I either swallow the books or I tell you little about them. If you are new and you haven't subscribed, please consider it. But don't feel pressure. If you don't want to, don't want to. But until next time, bye.